All right, ready to dive in. We're tackling the ketogenic diet today.
A topic I know a lot of you have been wanting to explore.
What I think is so fascinating about keto is it kind of goes beyond,
Beyond just like the typical weight loss
yeah,
thing.
it's like rewiring your body to run on
Yeah, a whole different
for
energetic.
fat instead of carbs.
Exactly.
So we've got a bunch of stuff to dig into today.
We do.
We've got that YouTube video from Dr. Berg kind of laying out the keto
You
basics.
do. And we've also got that podcast intro that teases a whole website with even more info.
Oh, right. And then that Healthline article that
That one goes deep into like the sciencey stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And the potential benefits and all that.
So our mission today is to,
Well, to help you figure out like
is keto right for you?
exactly.
Yeah.
And what it really entails.
Yeah, and what to watch out for.
All the important stuff.
Okay, so let's just jump right in.
Let's do it.
I think a lot of folks get tripped up on the sciencey stuff right out of the gate.
Oh, for sure.
So let's just tackle this head on.
Yeah.
What exactly is a ketone?
Okay, so simply put, ketones are,
Like in layman's terms.
yeah, they're these tiny little molecules that your liver makes
Okay.
from fat
Okay.
when you cut way back on carbs, like significantly.
So they basically replace glucose.
Yeah, as your body's main fuel source,
It's like flipping a switch and suddenly your body's running on.
running on premium fuel.
Yeah. What's interesting is both Dr. Berg and that Healthline article highlight
Oh, yeah, they both talk about some pretty compelling benefits.
of this like fuel switch, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Like what kind of benefits are we talking about here?
Well, one of the big ones, and this is really well documented, is improved insulin sensitivity.
Okay.
So by like relying less on glucose,
Mm-hmm.
you're basically giving your pancreas a break
Okay.
and allowing your cells to become more like receptive to insulin signals.
Makes sense considering insulin resistance is at the root of
Oh, so many problems these days.
pretty much everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
But beyond that, that Healthline article also talks about
Oh, yeah, the potential neuroprotective effects,
meaning.
meaning ketones could actually help protect your brain
Wow.
against damage and cognitive decline.
It's like preventing dementia and Alzheimer's and things like that.
Potentially. Yeah, there's a lot of research going on in that area.
Interesting.
Pretty exciting.
Okay, so improved insulin sensitivity,
Mm-hmm.
potential brain benefits.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
All right.
But now I'm wondering, how does this whole process even work?
Right.
How do you actually get your body into this?
Into this fat-burning, ketone-producing state.
Yeah.
It's called ketosis.
Okay.
And it does take time for your body to adapt.
Like how long are we talking?
Well, Dr. Berg, in his video, he mentions it usually takes like 3 to 5 days.
Mm.
But that Healthline article,
Mm-hmm.
it emphasizes that,
If you have.
yeah, if you have any kind of pre-existing conditions, it could take longer.
Okay, so patience is key.
Patience is definitely key
So what's happening inside our bodies during that?
during that transition phase.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically your body's shifting from being a sugar-burning machine
Correct.
to a fat-burning machine.
Okay.
So when you drastically lower your carb intake,
Mm-hmm.
your body's like, whoa, where's my fuel?
Right.
And it starts searching for these alternative sources.
Okay.
It turns to your stored fat,
Mm-hmm.
and your liver converts those fatty acids into ketones.
It's like your body's going through a major energy overhaul.
It really is.
Now, from what I've gathered, there's two key actions involved in getting into ketosis.
Yep.
First, obviously, you drastically reduce your carbs,
Right.
but then there's also this whole idea of adjusting.
When you eat.
Yeah.
Exactly. So intermittent fasting, or like strategically timing your meals to create periods of fasting,
Okay.
plays a huge role in like maximizing ketone production.
So by combining keto with fasting
They're basically giving your body the optimal conditions.
to switch to that fat burning mode,
Exactly.
that's why you hear people talking about keto and intermittent fasting.
Oh, all the time together.
It's like a 1-2 punch.
It really is.
Okay, so we touched on insulin sensitivity a bit ago,
We did.
but I want to circle back to that because Dr. Berg really hammered this point home.
He did.
He claims that most doctors,
Rarely even test for insulin levels.
which is crazy.
It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
Yeah, and this is where it gets really interesting because he says elevated insulin is like
It's this silent driver
in
behind,
so many issues.
oh my gosh, weight gain, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, even certain types of cancer.
It's a lot.
It is. It's a lot.
So keto's role is to help regulate that insulin, bring it back into balance.
Exactly, yeah. By lowering your carbs and reducing how often you eat, You're basically minimizing.
Minimizing those insulin spikes.
Yeah, that happen when you eat those high-carb foods.
Okay.
And that allows your cells to become more sensitive to insulin again.
And that can have like a ripple effect on your overall health. So we're talking about...
We're talking about way more than just weight loss here.
Yeah, this is like potentially reversing insulin resistance and preventing
serious health issues down the road.
Okay, before we move on, there's another fascinating concept
Oh, yeah?
that I'm seeing pop up in all of our sources. Autophagy.
Ah, yes. This is where it gets really exciting from a cellular perspective.
Okay, so help me out here.
Yeah.
Dr. Berg describes it as your body's way of recycling garbage.
He does. It's a great analogy.
But I need a little more context.
Okay, sure.
What exactly is autophagy and how does it tie into keto?
Okay, so think of autophagy as...
Like in simple terms.
Yeah, it's your body's built-in spring cleaning system.
Okay.
It's a natural process where your cells basically break down and recycle old or damaged components.
Okay.
So they're essentially clearing out the clutter.
Like to make way for new healthy cells.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm picturing like a microscopic cleanup crew going through my cells.
I love that.
And tossing out all the junk.
Exactly.
Okay, so what's amazing is that extended fasting.
The kind often practiced with keto triggers this cellular cleanup process.
So you're already burning fat, producing ketones with keto.
Yeah.
And then intermittent fasting kicks in and amplifies.
Amplifies this whole autophagy thing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's like this powerful synergy.
It is, yeah.
That supports both metabolic health and cellular renewal.
You got it.
Okay, this is pretty mind-blowing, and I'm eager to dive even deeper into the
potential benefits of autophagy.
Yes, but one thing that struck me, especially comparing like Dr. Berg's video with that podcast intro and the Healthline article, is that keto isn't...
It's not one size fits all.
No, there's this idea of healthy versus dirty keto.
Right.
And they almost sound like entirely different diets.
They do. And, dirty keto, it really focuses just on...
just hitting those macros.
Yeah, the percentages of fat, protein, and carbs.
But without much regard for...
for the quality of the food itself.
Right, so it's like...
like processed meats, artificial sweeteners, low-quality fats.
It's like fueling your car with the cheapest gas you can find.
Exactly. It might technically run.
But you're not doing it any favors.
Out in the long run, no.
And then healthy keto.
Healthy keto is all about nutrient-dense, whole foods, grass-fed meats, wild-caught fish, healthy fats from avocados and olive oil, plenty of non-starchy vegetables.
So it's not just about hitting those macros.
No.
It's about nourishing your body with high-quality fuel.
Exactly.
But why is food quality so crucial on keto?
Well, it goes back to insulin management and overall health.
Okay.
Remember, one of the main goals of keto is to regulate blood sugar.
Right.
And reduce those insulin spikes.
Okay.
And processed foods, even if they're low in carbs, can still mess with your insulin levels.
And that undermines the benefits.
It totally undermines the benefits of keto.
Plus, they lack all those essential nutrients.
Exactly.
Needs.
To thrive.
Okay, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So it's not just about depriving yourself of carbs.
No.
It's about replacing them with high-quality foods that support your body's transition.
To a fat-burning state.
Okay, all right. We've covered a lot of ground here in this first segment.
We have.
From the basics of ketones to the importance of insulin and this intriguing concept of autophagy.
A lot to take in.
This is just the beginning, right?
Just the beginning.
So in our next segment, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of what a typical day on a healthy keto plan actually looks like.
But I'm excited for that.
Yeah, we'll explore meal timing, food choices.
And those essential electrolytes.
That Dr. Berg kept emphasizing.
Very important.
So stay tuned.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to our deep dive on the ketogenic diet.
Last time we really got into the science of it all.
All those ketones and insulin.
Even that cellular cleanup crew, autophagy.
Yeah, autophagy.
It's amazing how much is going on.
Beneath the surface, right?
When you switch your body's fuel source.
It really is fascinating.
But I'm ready to get practical. What does a typical day on a healthy keto plan actually look like?
One of the things that both Dr. Berg's video and the Healthline article talk about is the idea of meal timing.
Yeah.
It's not just about what you eat.
But when you eat.
Exactly.
And I know Dr. Berg is a big advocate
for skipping breakfast.
Yeah.
And pushing that first meal later in the day.
So like turning lunch into your breakfast.
Kinda.
And then having your second and final meal within a 6-hour window.
That's the idea.
So 18 hours of fasting each day.
It can be a big adjustment.
Yeah, for someone used to 3 square meals a day.
It definitely can.
But the key, as Dr. Berg stresses, is
to make sure you're getting enough fat with your meals.
So you stay satisfied between them.
Exactly.
And what about those electrolytes he kept mentioning?
Oh, those are important.
Why are they so important on keto?
Well, when you cut way back on carbs,
Mm-hmm.
your body tends to shed water weight more quickly.
Okay.
And along with that water, you lose electrolytes.
Like sodium and potassium?
Yeah, sodium, potassium, magnesium, those are the big ones.
Oh, so that explains the keto flu.
The headaches and fatigue.
Yeah.
The brain fog.
Yeah, not fun.
Not fun at all.
So replenishing those electrolytes through your diet.
And potentially
Nice.
supplements.
Can make a big difference.
Absolutely.
So it's like giving your body the support it needs.
To adapt to this new way of eating.
Now, speaking of adaptation, a lot of people are drawn to keto for its
weight loss potential.
Is there something inherently fat-burning about this way of eating?
Multiple studies have shown that keto can be very effective for weight loss.
More so than low-fat diets.
Often, yes.
How?
Well, remember those insulin levels we keep talking about?
Yeah.
When insulin is in check, your body becomes much more efficient
at accessing and burning stored fat for energy.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But lots of diets claim to do that.
They do.
What makes keto stand out?
Well, keto combines this metabolic shift with the satiating power of fat, so you naturally feel fuller for longer.
Which leads to
a reduction in your overall calorie intake.
Okay, so you don't feel deprived.
Exactly.
Or constantly battling cravings.
Exactly.
That's a powerful combination.
It really is.
Now, I'm also intrigued by the claims of improved mental clarity and focus on keto.
Yeah.
Is that just a happy side effect of weight loss, or
is there a direct link?
Yeah.
There's increasing evidence that keto can actually directly benefit brain function.
Interesting.
Remember, ketones are a more efficient fuel source for the brain than glucose.
Okay.
So they provide this steady stream of energy.
Without the sugar highs and crashes.
Which can lead to brain fog and fatigue.
So it's like giving your brain a performance upgrade.
You could say that.
Okay, but let's switch gears for a moment and talk about
potential concerns.
Yeah, because any major dietary shift comes with risks.
Of course.
What should people be aware of before diving headfirst into keto?
Well, first and foremost, you should always consult with your doctor.
Before making any big dietary changes?
Especially if you have pre-existing health conditions.
Or are taking medications?
Yes, very important.
What are some of the common pitfalls or risks associated with keto?
Well, one we already touched on is the keto flu.
Yeah.
That initial period of adjustment where electrolyte imbalances can cause
those unpleasant symptoms,
Yeah.
Headaches, fatigue, brain fog.
It's not fun.
But are there any long-term concerns?
There are some, and they're still being researched.
Okay.
Some studies suggest that prolonged keto could lead to nutrient deficiencies.
If it's not well planned.
Exactly, especially if you're not emphasizing those nutrient-dense foods.
So even on keto, you can't just load up on bacon and call it a day?
Not if you're prioritizing your long-term health.
Okay.
And while some people see improvements in their cholesterol profiles on keto, others experience an increase in LDL cholesterol.
Oh, the bad cholesterol.
Right, so more research is needed to really understand these effects.
So it's not a free pass to eat all the fat you want?
No, definitely not.
You still have to be mindful of your overall health.
Absolutely.
Make sure you're getting a variety of nutrients.
Exactly.
But let's shift back to the practical side.
Okay.
What are some tips for creating a sustainable and enjoyable keto plan?
That's the key, right?
Because, let's be honest, most diets fail because they're too restrictive.
Or complicated.
Or both.
Yeah, to maintain in the real world.
So how can people determine if this is something they can
stick with long term?
Yeah.
I think it comes down to being honest with yourself.
Okay.
Do you enjoy cooking?
Okay.
Were you willing to plan and prep meals in advance? How do you typically navigate social situations that involve food?
Those are all great questions.
It's all about self-awareness.
Because keto does require
a certain level of commitment and preparation.
You can't just wing it.
Definitely not.
But, and it's important to remember that it's not all or nothing.
Right. There are different levels of keto.
You can adjust it.
Based on your individual goals and lifestyle.
So if strict keto works for a while, but then you find it too challenging,
you can always transition to a more moderate approach.
There's flexibility.
Absolutely.
It's about finding what works for you.
And your body.
Now, don't underestimate the power of support.
Oh, so important.
Connect with online communities.
Find a keto buddy.
Work with a registered dietitian.
who specializes in keto.
Yeah, having a support system
Can make all the difference.
especially when you're making these big lifestyle changes.
For sure.
But before we move on, I want to address something that came up in our research.
Okay.
This idea that keto can be...
Expensive.
Yeah, because we keep talking about grass-fed meats and wild-caught fish.
And organic produce.
And those are all great choices.
They are.
But they also tend to be pricier.
Than conventional options.
Yeah.
It's a valid concern.
And it could create a barrier.
For people who might benefit from the diet.
But don't have the financial resources.
To access those foods.
So it raises questions about accessibility and whether keto reinforces these existing health disparities.
It's a complex issue.
It is.
And it highlights the need for
greater awareness.
Education. Maybe even policy changes.
To address food access and affordability for everyone.
Yeah, that's a bigger conversation.
It is.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground in this segment.
We've talked about practical tips.
Potential risks.
Ethical considerations.
And we still have more to uncover.
We do.
In our final segment, we'll tackle some of those keto myths.
The ones that just won't go away.
Examine its place in the broader health and wellness landscape.
And leave you with some final food for thought.
Stay tuned. Okay, we're back.
For the final part of our keto deep dive.
I feel like we've covered so much ground already.
We really have the science.
The practical stuff.
Potential benefits, the risks.
We even got into some of those ethical considerations.
Yeah, those are important.
But before we wrap things up, I want to address the elephant in the room. All those keto myths and misconceptions. Oh yeah, there are a lot of them.
Keto's become such a buzzword, you know?
It has.
And with that comes...
a lot of noise.
A lot of noise.
It can be hard to sift through it all.
Yeah, it can be really hard to separate fact from fiction.
Absolutely.
I think one of the most common myths I hear is that
keto is just all about bacon and steak.
Yeah, like a carnivore's dream.
Right, you can eat all the meat you want.
As long as you're not eating carbs.
It's a dangerous oversimplification.
It is.
While meat can definitely be part of a ketogenic diet.
Yeah.
It's not the whole story.
So it's not just about piling your plate with
meat and fat? No.
Balance and quality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. And then another myth I hear a lot,
especially from people who love their carbs.
Yeah, is that keto is just too restrictive.
You can't enjoy food.
Yeah, like it makes socializing
impossible.
Impossible, yeah.
I mean, it can feel that way if you approach it with this mindset of deprivation.
Like you're missing out. Yeah. But there are so many delicious and creative keto recipes out there.
And as we talked about before, planning ahead, communicating your dietary needs
can make social situations so much easier.
Yeah, it's about finding ways to make keto
work for you.
For you and your lifestyle.
And not isolating yourself.
Right, or feeling like you're missing out.
Exactly.
Okay, and then here's one I hear a lot from the fitness crowd.
Okay, let's hear it.
That you can't build muscle on keto.
Oh, because you're not eating enough carbs.
Yeah.
That's not entirely accurate.
Okay.
While carbs do play a role in muscle growth, it's definitely possible to build muscle on a ketogenic diet.
So it's not a deal breaker.
For those who are serious about their workouts, it might require some adjustments.
To your training.
Your protein intake.
But it can be done.
It can definitely be done.
Okay, but I think the biggest misconception...
and potentially the most harmful.
Yeah, is that keto is just a quick fix.
A magic bullet for weight loss.
We see those headlines everywhere.
Lose 10 pounds in a week on keto.
Right.
It's just, it sets unrealistic expectations.
It makes it seem like keto is...
effortless.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to do anything.
But it ignores the fact that sustainable weight loss...
and sustainable health in general...
is a journey.
It's not a destination.
Keto can be a powerful tool.
It can.
But it's not magic.
It takes commitment...
consistency.
and a willingness to make real, lasting lifestyle changes.
So it's not just about relying on a quick fix.
No.
It's about shifting your mindset and your habits.
Exactly.
Now, zooming out a bit.
Okay.
Where does keto fit into the larger health and wellness landscape?
That's a tough one.
Is it a fad?
Is it here to stay?
We don't know.
I think it's tapped into this growing desire for...
personalized health solutions?
Yeah, diets that go beyond just weight loss.
And address those underlying metabolic issues.
But there's always a risk that it could become...
oversimplified.
Commercialized.
Lose its original intent.
Yeah, we're already seeing that with all those...
keto-friendly processed foods.
Oh, yeah, they're everywhere.
It's like keto's become a marketing term.
More than anything.
So it highlights the importance of being...
informed consumers. Understanding the principles.
The why behind keto.
Yeah, making choices that align with your...
health goal.
And your values.
Okay, and then as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to come back to those ethical considerations.
Yeah, we can't forget about those.
We talked about how that emphasis on high-quality foods
can create a barrier
for some people
who might benefit from keto,
but lack the resources
but access those foods.
So it raises questions about
Food justice.
Yeah, whether certain dietary approaches,
even those with potential health benefits,
end up perpetuating those inequalities.
It's a complex issue.
It is, with no easy solutions.
But it's a conversation we need to keep having.
Yeah, absolutely.
As we navigate this ever-evolving world of
nutrition
and well-being.
So for our listeners who are intrigued by keto,
yeah, and considering giving it a try,
what would you say is the takeaway message?
Do your research.
Okay.
Talk to your doctor. Listen to your body.
And be mindful of those broader implications.
Of your dietary choices.
For yourself.
And for society as a whole.
That's great advice.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the ketogenic diet.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you found it
informative,
thought-provoking,
and maybe even a little bit inspiring.
Remember, health is an ongoing journey.
It is.
And the best path is one that's
sustainable and aligned with your values.
Stay curious.
Stay informed.
And keep diving deep.